All right, it's 167 days to Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. And of course, the organizers are trying as much as possible to ensure that, well, the coronavirus is practically making waves in China and some other parts of the world. Doesn't really hinder the preparations for the Olympic Games. It's 167 days, and they are doing all they can to ensure that, well, something like that doesn't happen. And that's why they want to coordinate with public health authorities on how to respond, to the growing epidemic.
Like Cecilia said, that's just a confirmation for you. 167 days to go to the Olympics. Of course, we started a countdown here talking about the Olympics. And so just in case you've missed it, 167 days to go. And just back to what you said about combating the spread of coronavirus. I mean, Japan and China are not too far away. And the moment the problem started, everybody started talking about the Olympics, what can be done, what will be done. Not just the Olympics, the Paralympics as well. Two major sporting events that will be hosted in the capital city of Japan, which is Tokyo. And so, of course, they can't close their eyes to what is happening.
Of course.
They have to deal with... There are some isolated cases in and around that place. But like you said, the LOC are looking at ways to combat the spread.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what they're doing. I mean, the International Paralympic Committee spokesperson, Greg Spence, he attended a briefing with the organizers, and he talked about the fact that, look, it's having minimal impact on the games preparations so far. And, of course, the game will be held as planned, so no issues. But then there's a task force that has been set up to actually work with the public health authorities to see how they can respond to it when it happens. Let's hear from Spence now talking about this.
As you would expect, coronavirus was discussed during this project review. The outbreak so far has had minimal impact on the Games preparations for both the IPC and Tokyo 2020. And we are going about our plans as expected, with athlete health and well-being remaining our top priority.
Top priority, yes. Athletes, you have to look at their welfare and look at their health and see if it's going to affect them in any way. But then they have plans already, task force set up already, so no need to fear. The games will go ahead. All right, the Nigeria Professional Football League is going to get our attention today, March day 19.
Of course, let's quickly take a look at the fixtures and see some interesting matches to look forward to this weekend. You have the Aba Elephants up against their neighbors. There's from the same state, it's a derby. Of course, they'll be up against Abia Warriors. You have Katsina United up against Warri Wolves. There you have it. Akwa United will take on Rangers International. That's going to be a very, very big one. You had Sunshine Stars up against FC Ifeanyi. Adamawa United would face Heartland. You have... MFM will face Kano Pillars. You have Rivers United up against Kwara United. Dakara FC up against Plateau United. Lobby Stars will take on Wiki Tories. Then you have Jigawa Golden Stars taking on Naswa United. All of these fixtures, a lot of interesting matches to look forward to. MFM, Kano Pillars. You have Eimba Abia Warriors set up to be interesting, all right? Okay,
all right. Let's leave MPFL and quickly touch down on Copa del Rey. The reason why this is actually making headline here is because the two guys who've always been in the final since 2010, they're always there. They are out. I mean, when the defending champions, Valencia, were, taken out, by a very small club, we're like, okay, maybe that's just all the upsets, needed. But then what happened last night, I mean, was remarkable. Real Madrid losing to Real Sociedad and Barcelona losing to Atletico Bilbao. And you're asking yourself, okay, maybe because the Super Cup, the Spanish Super Cup glamour is not just the winners of the league and the winners of the Super Cup anymore. The top four can actually compete, making it possible. So maybe that's what
there's no way to sugarcoat it.
I'm not trying to sugarcoat it.
That's a knockout blow.
How will Real Madrid concede 4 goals? When was the last time? I mean, if you look at the record of Zinedine Zidane, I think they've conceded like how many goals this season? Very few. I mean, the numbers...
Even though they didn't start well.
That's it.
And that's why they should get some praise. They didn't start well. They were chipping in goals, but at some point it steadied,
it's crazy.
Steadied the ship. And for Barcelona, Inaki Williams was inspired.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people posting pictures that I dragged Gerard Piqué on the floor. And Martin Odegaard, the player rejected by Real Madrid, coming back to haunt.
No, he's on loan 2 seasons. I mean, he's on
They bought
loan.
him at a very young age. Everybody
15,
expecting him to break into that team, but it's been passed around. But if there's any way to tell your employers
I'm good enough. He's just gaining experience. He's playing matches, so it's going to come
They'll
back.
take notice now.
Of course, they'll take notice. I mean, how could they concede 4 goals? And this is a team coming into this game. I mean, they haven't lost a game in 21 matches, and they've conceded just 13 goals this season. And, of course, Copa del Rey last night, they conceded 4 at once. Barcelona, another story again. And you're asking yourself, what's happening? It was an own goal, 9 minutes. They've conceded that one. And that was it for them. So these 2 stars are out. So you're going to be having a very, very interesting semi-finals with teams that you never expect will be here.
All right.
Papers now.
Papers, although a few matches to be played in the English Premier League, not all the matches, it's weather conditions making it. We're just going to see a few matches. Everton, Crystal Palace, Brighton, Watford, Sheffield United, and Bournemouth, Manchester City, and West Ham. Those are the few matches that will be played this weekend. All right, Cecilia, let's take a look at the papers. We're pressed for time, but let's see what the papers are saying. Let's start with Sporting Sun.
Okay, Sporting Sun here. It's all about Odion Ighalo. He's still everywhere. I would turn around Man United attack. And everyone is saying, this guy, you're talking too much. Just take it cool, okay? Just be there. But I love his analysis of, Manchester United front forward. Talked about the fact that you have 2 guys playing from the flanks. They're very good. Antonio Martial, Marcus Rashford. Well, him, he's a centre forward, number 9.
Out and out.
Out and out striker. So he can get the goals and he can, do some bit of,
For those guys, you can defend them and say, well, they're not really centre forwards. They contribute to the game. But for Odion Ighalo, you're going to judge him based on his goals, and he knows that. I'm a centre forward. I'm a goal-getter. Put me in there. I'll do the job.
Do you think he's talking too much?
Yeah, I think he should just allow his boots do the talking.
Speak, that's it.
But look, it's a big deal. Odion Ighalo's match is so a lot of people who just look. Whatever I say is even in private conversations, we get to the headline of papers. So most of these things. But we see him working hard in training. We're seeing pictures.
Yeah.
He's really working hard, and I know he wants to take this opportunity.
Absolutely, he's going to take it. That means your childhood dream, and people are actually speculating, and some people are not really trusting you to be a Manchester United player, thinking, you're not good enough. Others are saying United don't attract top strikers, and that's why Ighalo is there. So he needs to prove them wrong and tell them, look, he's also a top striker. Despite the fact that he spent like close to 3 seasons now, in China, it doesn't really matter. All right, still on Sporting Sun, Osimhen turns gospel preacher. I don't know what it's all about, but then I think maybe it's just some motivational, some talks and everything. Ozil, like I said, they're set to dump Arsenal. Is this going to happen or not? Okay, are they living at this time? This is what the paper is saying. And Fury wants Joshua fight in Las Vegas. Fury, can he just face Deontay Wilder first? After that, start talking about Anthony Joshua.
I think both guys are letting us know. I think I have an indication that before part 3 happens, we're going to see one of them fight Joshua. And both of them are looking, because there's money on the table. The guys in Saudi Arabia are ready to throw money at anybody who wants to fight Joshua and is ready to come to Saudi Arabia. So before we see that part 3, which is already in the works, we're going to probably see one of them fight. And I guess Joshua is ready to relinquish one of his bets to make that happen.
Okay, the last one for this Inter to soup on Messi in some. There's some stories just saying, look at.
I don't see
Inter
Messi.
Milan, they're actually buying everybody, so they can buy Messi.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
Complete Sports, last paper for review. You have from today's Complete Sports, the Friday edition, Osimhen urged to snub Madrid and Barca move. You have Arteta plotting to ditch star trio, talking about Ozil, Aubameyang, and Lacazette. All right, Moses Simon says, I want to stay at Nantes. And we have other interesting stories. He will be tipped as new Everton playmaker. Those are the stories that are in today's Complete Sports. Very interesting. And you have this one coming from Odion Ighalo's former strike partner, Troy Deeney. Says Odion Ighalo was desperate to score against Manchester United. Always wanted to prove a point. Now he gets his opportunity. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. with it. All right, that's a wrap on the papers and a wrap on the show as well. I do hope that you enjoyed everything we brought to you today. We're back here again next week, but there's still one more hour of sports later tonight with Austin Okon Akman. But from us on this show, you're going to see us again on Monday. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.
I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Do have a fantastic weekend.